Today we will talk about the top 5 most dangerous water that you will never swim. Or even putting your hands in the water may cause death. Number 1. Hanakapiai Beach. The islands of Hawaii are well known for their beaches. But some of those beaches weren't meant for swimming. Hanakapiai Beach on Kauai's Napali coast is one of them. Yet another beautiful but potentially deadly location, the beach lies at the end of a steep, rocky 3.2 km 2 mi trail. Hanakapiai's remoteness means that there are no lifeguards and no hope of immediate rescue. This only adds to the beach's primary danger: powerful rip currents capable of pulling even strong, experienced swimmers out to sea. These rip currents are almost always present, as there is no reef to protect the beach's shores. Also, the geography of the region is such that the nearest safe beach is 10 kilometers, 6 mi, away. There is simply nowhere to go. More people have drowned at Hanakapiai than at any other beach in Kauai. The bodies of 15 drowning victims have never been recovered. A sign stands on the beach with a tally mark for each drowning. There are over 80 marks. Visitors are advised to stay out of the water entirely. Number 2. The Strid. The River Wharfe in Yorkshire, England, contains a section known as the Strid. The word Strid is a local word based on stride, which is fitting as the Strid is much narrower than the rest of the River Wharfe, merely a long stride, or short jump, in width. It's the sort of babbling brook that a hiker might not think twice about jumping over or stepping into. The Strid's appearance, however, is extremely deceptive. The Wharfe's current is much stronger in the Strid due to its narrowness and has cut deeply into the area's limestone, much deeper than any other part of the river. The current has also undercut the banks of the Strid, meaning that its edges are in fact ledges overhanging a wider and deeper waterway than is apparent. The Strid's attributes spell disaster for those unlucky enough to fall in. Many people have been pulled under and drowned over the years. No one has ever fallen into the Strid and come out alive. Number 3. Kipu Falls and Hole. If you go swimming at Kipu Falls in Hawaii, the best possible outcome is that you are only charged with trespassing. It is also possible that you will never leave the swimming hole alive. Despite being on private land, Kipu Falls has been a very popular swimming spot for decades, appearing in tourist guidebooks since the 1990s. Reachable by a short walk down a dirt path, a 6-meter (20 ft) waterfall empties from a stream above into a picturesque, serene pool below. Unfortunately, beauty aside, Kipu Falls has been the site of many injuries and deaths, some of which have been difficult to explain. Aside from injuries obviously related to jumping from the top of the falls, people have drowned with no apparent explanation. Several were witnessed swimming normally only to suddenly become distressed and disappear beneath the surface. They were not seen again until their bodies were brought up from the very bottom of the pool. Some have claimed that a moa, a reptilian water spirit, is dragging people down and holding them at the bottom. Others speculate that there is a whirlpool at Kipu Falls. Whatever the cause of the deaths, the Kauai Visitors Bureau has asked tourist guide publishers to no longer mention Kipu Falls. The area is now fenced off to further deter swimmers, who will be prosecuted if caught trying to enter the falls. Number 4. Eagle's Nest Sinkhole. Eagle's Nest Sinkhole, also known as the Lost Sink near St. Petersburg, Florida, has been called the Mount Everest of diving. From ground level, it appears to be nothing more than a pond, but narrow shafts at the bottom of the pond lead into a much larger underwater cave system with over 2 kilometers (1 mi) of charted passages, rooms larger than a football field, and shafts no wider than a doorway. The cave's deepest point is 94 meters (310 ft) below the surface. The comparison to Mount Everest is due to its remoteness, difficulty, and spectacular beauty. It's also an incredibly dangerous dive site. Like the Sameson Hole, the depth of Eagle's Nest Sinkhole is such that Trimix certification is recommended. The use of only regular air can lead to disorientation below 46 meters (150 ft). Cave diving certification, previous cave diving experience, and diving with a guide familiar with the area are also highly recommended. Guidelines are used for divers to find their way back to the surface. Even with experience and equipment, veteran divers have died in Eagle's Nest. Some have simply blacked out, others have become tangled in their own guidelines, eventually running out of air. The site's remoteness also means that help is not close, and only other cave divers are qualified to attempt a rescue. In 1999, Eagle's Nest was closed due to the deaths, but it was reopened in 2003. A day pass for diving costs $3. And the last number 5. Samessen Hole or Hard Deep. The Gulf of Thailand contains a deep point described as a black silty hole of death. Named for a nearby fishing village, the Samessen Hole is the deepest diving site in the Gulf of Thailand, dropping down to 85 meters 280 ft. Divers braving the hole must deal with the strong currents in the region, as well as the fact that it lies in a busy traffic zone for oil tankers. Barracuda also populate the area, and visibility is very poor as one descends. To top it all off, the U.S. Navy previously used Samessen Hole as an ammunition dump, leaving the site littered with unexploded ordnance. So who would want to jump into Samessen Hole? Diving enthusiasts would. The site is for Trimix certified divers only. Trimix is a mixture of oxygen, nitrogen, and helium used for deep diving. Divers are also advised to have multiple lights, dive computers, and formal training in technical diving. Even for well-equipped divers, the dive can be dangerous. In 1998, the first pair of divers to dive the hole experienced severe equipment failures, including dive computers being damaged beyond repair and lights imploding. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hoping you've learned a lot. Stay away from dangerous and deadly form of water, from beach to falls, and be safe.